Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome back to another installment of the Fool's interpretation of the Havamal. I am your host, Robert the Fool, and this evening we will be reading stanzas 52, 53, 54, and 55. Without any further ado, let's jump into these stanzas and talk about what we think they mean. 52. You should not give only big gifts. Often a little thing will win you favor. I have won friends with just half a loaf of bread and a bowl of soup. Now, I've talked about this before when I made like my first video about being Norse, and I was talking about the one that's titled How I Practice. Um, what exactly did I title it? Something about how I practice our Norse religion and the Norse religion in our modern times. I was talking about how what I think is more important in how to be Norse is instead of doing the rituals is to develop a Norse moral standard, because like I was saying, uh, like for anybody that's gone to church and knows the people that they go to church with outside of church, especially for you teenagers out there, you will see these people at church do all the rituals and sing all the songs and get baptized and do all that stuff, and then they're buying weed from you at the party on the weekend, and the only reason they got your phone number is because you can hook them up with something. And everybody at church knows you're kind of a degenerate teenager. And then these people don't even talk to you while you're at church, unless they want to try to preach to you about something. But when you're all in the youth group room and you're playing foosball or something like that, or they got a ping pong table in there, they don't give you the light of day. And you know that they're fake as fuck while they do all their fucking rituals in front of everybody at church. And so what I was talking about was, I said it's all about that half loaf of bread and tilted bowl that you share with your friend. And I think it's the Olive Bray translation where he calls it a tilted bowl. Um, but so with this, you know, this reminds me of why people hate the holidays. Everybody's like, "Oh, Christmas is coming. I fucking hate Christmas." It's because you gotta buy like a gift. You gotta buy a gift for everybody. You gotta buy a gift for everybody, and then you have to do it for everybody at this one time. So it's really expensive, and it's a bunch of bullshit. Uh, and like, and and I'm not gonna say, especially in today's climate with all the inflation, even though inflation is fucking insane. Um, it's been like this throughout history of celebrating Christmas, like in America. But my, even my grandpa, like when I was a kid, be bitching about buying gifts for everybody, and then he would talk about how he liked just giving you a random gift throughout the year, which is something I really liked, because when he gave me a pocket knife one time, I thought that was the shit. Like on Christmas, because on my father's side, on my dad's side, there were so many of us grandkids. You might just get like from grandma and grandpa, you might just get a card with like $5 in it or something, or like maybe sometimes we'd get a card with the amount of dollars in it that was our age. And then if you were like a little kid or something, maybe they like times it by two or something. So you're 5 years old, you get $10. But like when my granddad gave me a pocket knife one time, just randomly, that was way better than a gift on Christmas. Or like when he told he told all of us that this one BB gun that he had at his house, well, this is your guys' BB gun for whenever you come over here. So just so you guys know, if you want to go down into the basement, stay away from my real guns and everything in the safes or whatever up on the rack. But this BB gun and then like the pellet gun and stuff. I remember him actually telling us to stay away from the pellet gun because it was a lot stronger. But he's like, this little BB gun, this is yours. You guys can you play with this whenever you want. You don't have to come ask to grab it. It's yours for when you're here. And that was way that being told that randomly during the summer one time when we were spending the weekend at their house was way better than getting given a BB gun. Like if you would have told us that on Christmas, um, it would have been great. It would have been awesome, and we often got group presents like that. But just the fact that it was random when he gave it to us in the summer made it better, you know. And it wasn't a new BB gun. It was an old BB gun. This BB gun was like from the fucking 70s or something. So it was, you could hold it in your hand and it rattled, because like like it was just loose and shit. Anybody that's been to basic training and picked up like an M16 A2, like they're probably using M4s in basic training now. But when I was in basic training, I got handed an M2. And if you held that thing by the pistol grip and shook it, the whole thing rattled. It shot straight and true, just like so did the BB gun that we had. But they're just all so old and so used that they rattle like a motherfucker. And so this is what the stanza reminds me of that. Like, give little gifts, like often, throughout. Well, not often. It doesn't have to be every single time you see somebody or whatever. But give little gifts randomly. A random little gift is is better than the expected gift on a holiday. So like growing up during Christmas, or for the last like handful of years, I say Yule. So during Yule, you're expecting to get gifts from people. And so when you get a random gift, even if it's something tiny like a little pocket knife, it's 10 times better. And like when somebody is at your house and you offer to make them food, and everybody always says no. They're like, no, I'm fine. Even if they're hungry. And I'm like, bro, like, I asked because you're at my house, and first of all, I want to eat some food, and it's rude to just eat in front of people. And then this is something that we've talked about also. Mealtime is a way that you connect with people. So you're at my house, I'm hungry. I'm assuming you're hungry. I'm gonna ask you if you want some food, and if you want to sit down and eat together. And for some reason, when people are randomly offered to have food made for them, it makes you feel like I honestly don't know how to describe the feeling of somebody randomly taking care of you, because that's what it is. At least that's what I felt like when somebody offers to make me food. And I'm not just talking about like your mom or fucking something when you go to her house. Like, I'm talking about if you've ever had a friend do this for you. Not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend. Well, I'm talking to a bunch of dudes, so I don't expect any of you to have boyfriends. Not your girlfriend, and not your wife, and not your fucking mother. I'm talking about one of your friends or something handing you a sandwich or some shit that they made, and then you guys sit down and eat and knock back a couple beers or whatever. Those are going to be some of the best conversation times you've ever had in your life. 53. Where the beaches are small, it's a small sea that washes them. And so it is with little minds. Not everyone is equally wise, but the average is moderately wise. What this reminds me of is talking to people about the Communist Manifesto, and there's people that read it and think that it makes logical, political, cultural sense, and they want to implement it in society. Those people have little minds with little C's, and they're fucking retards. Like, because if you can read the Communist Manifesto and then and be one of these like Antifa retards, you have a little mind. You have a little sea that washes the little beach inside your little mind, and you cannot comprehend what you're reading. And the reason that this says, that's why not everyone is equally wise. And the reason, like capitalism has done so much better for every country that implements it, and the reason why, like, bro, okay, the reason we have like space travel and stuff like that, like the reason there is Tesla is because the average person is moderately wise. And when the moderately wise person reads the Communist Manifesto, they know that it's fucking retarded, dumb bullshit. And so that, like, that's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of two people reading the same thing, and one person thinking, "Oh, this makes a lot of sense," and then the other person realizing this is fucking gobbledygook, fucking dumb as shit. 54. You should be only a little wise, never too wise. The happiest people throughout their lives are those who know just enough. This reminds me of Tom Bombadil from The Lord of the Rings. That guy is he's one of the wizards, and this stanza, okay, stanza 54 and 55. I'm going to read 55 because it has to do with what I'm talking about, and sometimes I'll read them together. So I'm going to start back off with 54. You should be only a little wise, never too wise. The happiest people throughout their lives are those who know just enough. 55. You should be only a little wise, never too wise. A wise man's heart is seldom glad if he truly knows. Now that's Gandalf. Gandalf is 55. Tom Bombadil is 54. Because Tom Bombadil lives in the woods with his wife, and he has not really a care in the world as to what everybody is going on about with the ring, because in how this talks about being too wise, he's not wise to the fact of everything that's going on because he doesn't care. He has his plot of land, and so that's all he concerns himself with, because that's all he needs to be successful in his life. He has his wife, and he wants to make her happy, so he makes sure that his plot of land is an immaculate place to live. And because he is so content, and because of the level of his wisdom in how he lives his life, when he slips the ring on his finger, it doesn't do anything to him. It doesn't make him go invisible. When he wears it, the eye of Sauron isn't able to see it, because when you put it on, it makes you light up in the shadow realm. And so, since it doesn't do, like, he's so content because of his lack of wisdom about everything that's going on, which doesn't mean that he's dumb, because the way that they use wise is like the way that we use knowledge, or like just knowing something. Like, are you wise to the fact that this is going on? and so he's not, because he doesn't care, because all he's concerned about is like making his wife happy. Whereas Gandalf is exactly like 55, because Gandalf goes off into all the deepest, darkest libraries of every kingdom he can to read every scroll or piece of parchment he can find that says something about the ring and how to destroy it. And when he finds out, when he learns the entire history of the ring, he becomes extremely scared. Like, he once he knows the entire history of the ring and what has to be done to stop Sauron and to destroy the ring, he's not sure they can do it anymore. Like, like he not that he was confident in the fact they could destroy the ring in the first place, because like when Bilbo has the ring and they're like tossing or like Frodo first gets the ring and they like toss it in the fire and then they pull it out and it's like cold to the touch. You know, he's under the impression that it's not able to be destroyed, but he's confident in their ability to figure out a way to destroy it. But once he learns the entire history of the ring and he becomes truly wise about all the facts of how you are supposed to destroy the ring, he loses confidence and he becomes extremely scared. Even though he keeps it, but you know, because he is wise, he keeps that to himself, and he still leads the party. And so like, because then you got like Merry and Pippin throughout the story. They talk about how stoic Gandalf is and like how seldom he'll smile, but then as the story goes on, Sam and Pippin, like at first Gandalf hates them, or doesn't hate them. He just thinks they're dumb as shit, and he thinks that they're in the way. But then as the books go on, especially like after they conquer Saruman's tower, he develops a level of respect. He develops a level of respect for Sam and Pippin, because he realizes that these little hobbits they're more capable than he took them for to begin with, and he begins to laugh with them more, and um, and show that he, instead of staying stoic all the time because he's nervous about the facts that he's wise about, he keeps that more to himself, which I think is also what a wise person, a wise leader needs to do. And then, because then, like with the previous stanzas, when it's talking about a noble man should be should be quiet and stern and like brave in battle, but also you should be like happy until the end of your days or whatever. That was the part that Gandalf wasn't doing. He was being like quiet and stern and fierce in battle, but until like halfway through the story, until he starts seeing that Sam and Pippin are actually assets to the team, and then he starts laughing. You get a couple chuckles out of Gandalf throughout the book, and yeah, that's you know, there's like this wise man that is seldom glad because of everything that he knows. You have to also be happy despite of the things that you know that make you depressed about life. Well, saying that make you depressed about life isn't the right way to say it, I think. But you know, I mean, it's like the more, like when somebody's like okay, you're gonna talk about like immigration, for example. You say, oh yeah, let everybody come to our country. They come to our country and they can have a better life. And then you learn about all the human trafficking that goes on at the border, and that makes you sad. You're like, oh shit. Well, maybe we should curtail some of the immigration that comes into our country with how much human trafficking happens. Like that's actually extremely horrible. So yeah, that's what I think of these stanzas, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say about them. But it's almost midnight, so I'm gonna go get ready for bed, and I will talk to you guys later.